Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to unlock success in any area of your life, you must first understand this fundamental truth. All lasting change begins in the mind before it ever shows up in the outer world. You don't wait for your reality to change so you can feel successful. You feel successful now, so your reality has no choice but to reorganize itself around that internal state. That is not philosophy. That is neuroscience. That is the science of transformation. Your brain is not hardwired. It is not fixed. It is constantly rewiring itself in response to your thoughts, your experiences, and your emotions. This is called neuroplasticity. Every time you think a thought, you are firing a set of neurons in your brain. And when you think that thought repeatedly, those neurons begin to fire together so often that they wire together. What does this mean? It means that your identity, your habits, your beliefs, your emotional reactions are nothing more than reinforced neural circuits. So when you say, "I'm not good enough," or "I've always failed at this," or "it's too hard," those aren't facts. Those are thoughts you've memorized over time until they've become hardwired programs. Your body becomes the mind of that thought, and over time you don't even need to think it consciously. Your body just lives it out. You're not living in the present, you're living a predictable past projected into your future to change your life, to unlock your success. You must first become conscious of these unconscious thoughts. You must become aware of the programming that's been running the show, because 95% of who we are by the time we're in our mid-30s is a memorized set of behaviors, emotional reactions, beliefs, perceptions, and attitudes that operate like a subconscious autopilot. That's why change feels hard. You're trying to think greater than how you feel, and the body is addicted to the familiar past. But here's the power. The moment you begin to observe those limiting thoughts without reacting to them, you take your power back. You are no longer the program. You are the consciousness observing the program. And in that space of awareness, you can choose again. Let's say you want to be successful in your business, or improve your health, or create deep, fulfilling relationships. The outer goal is important, but it must start with the internal blueprint. You have to mentally rehearse who you want to become. You have to begin to fire and wire new neural circuits that reflect your future, not your past. Your brain does not know the difference between a real experience and an imagined one. If you repeatedly imagine yourself as confident, as abundant, as healthy, if you see it, feel it, embody it, your brain begins to believe it is already happening. You are literally conditioning your body to a new mind. And when the mind and body are aligned to a new future, you begin to broadcast a new electromagnetic signature into the field around you. Most people live in reaction to their environment. They look at their bank account, their job title, their relationship status, and they let those external conditions tell them who they are. But the truth is, you must be defined by a vision of the future, not a memory of the past. You must think and feel ahead of your current reality. This is how you become a creator rather than a victim. You don't need to know how it's all going to happen. You don't need to control the process. Your job is to condition your inner world, your thoughts, your emotions, your intentions, until your inner state becomes more real than the outer environment. Because the outer world is always catching up to the internal pattern you consistently embody. This isn't wishful thinking. This is not positive thinking. This is deliberate, intentional, and scientific. When you mentally rehearse your success daily, when you feel it in your heart as if it's already true, you are no longer waiting for your life to change. You are initiating the change from within. You are signaling new genes. You are creating new neurochemistry. You are stepping into a new personality, because new personalities create new personal realities. And the moment your biology begins to mirror your new thoughts, your life will be pulled toward that future like a magnet. We wake up in the morning, and almost instantly, we become the same person we were yesterday. We reach for our phone, we check the same messages, we think the same thoughts, we feel the same emotions, and we perform the same actions in the same order, and without even realizing it, we've already connected with the past. We've already remembered who we believe we are. That identity, those thoughts, feelings, and behaviors becomes our known self, and that known self is not designed to create the unknown future you desire. If you want to unlock success, you must first understand that your current personality, how you think, how you act, how you feel is producing your personal reality. And so, if you want a new personal reality, you have to become a new personality. You cannot create a new life with the same mind that's been rehearsing failure, lack, doubt, or fear. You have to break the habit of being your old self. This is more than just making new decisions. It's about disrupting the very identity that your brain and body have memorized. Because your old self is a biological pattern, it's a record of past experiences, emotions, and behaviors that your brain has hardwired and your body has chemically become addicted to. You might say, I want success, but your body remembers rejection. You might say, I want abundance, but your body is still conditioned to worry, and the body always wins when it comes to changing the mind, unless you do something radically different. Here's the paradox. The moment you begin to change, the body resists. You'll feel uncomfortable, anxious, restless. Your body is no longer getting the familiar chemicals of stress, of guilt, of frustration. And like a drug addict being deprived of their substance, the body wants to return to the familiar. So what does it do? It triggers the same thoughts that lead to the same emotions so it can get its chemical fix. That's not your intuition. That's your past identity fighting for survival. But in that space of discomfort is where transformation begins. That's where your conscious mind must become greater than the subconscious program. When you catch yourself reaching for the old emotional state, blame, doubt, impatience, you must stop and become aware. You must become the observer of your thoughts instead of the thinker. That separation is everything. It creates space between you and the conditioned self. Now, from that space, you can begin the work. You can begin to unmemorize the emotions that no longer serve your future and teach your body emotionally what that future feels like. This isn't about denying your past. It's about no longer emotionally living in it. Because every time you relive a painful memory, your body thinks it's happening again, and in doing so, you're conditioning your future with the chemicals of your past. When you start choosing different thoughts that align with who you want to become, you are firing new neural patterns. When you act differently, you are wiring those patterns into behavior. When you emotionally feel the elevated state of your vision, gratitude, joy, empowerment, you begin to signal new genes in new ways. You are literally becoming a new self, one that the body must learn to accept. The unknown feels unfamiliar at first. It should. You've spent years rehearsing your limitations, and now you're telling your body, we don't live there anymore. So don't expect the change to be comfortable. Expect it to be a dismantling, a rewiring, a chemical shift from familiar emotions to elevated ones, from survival to creation, from the known to the quantum field of possibility. You must rehearse being the new self before the evidence appears. You must wake up every day and decide, intentionally, who you no longer want to be and who you are willing to become. You must teach your brain to think beyond the feelings of yesterday. You must condition your body into a future that hasn't happened yet. That is the essence of true transformation. Not reacting, but rehearsing. Not remembering the past, but installing the future. And with enough repetition, the new you becomes as familiar as the old self once was in order to unlock your success and create true, measurable change in your life. There is a formula. It's not a guess, it's not random, and it's not something reserved for the lucky few. It's a repeatable, intentional process grounded in both science and consciousness. It begins with aligning two forces that, when combined, send a powerful signal into the quantum field: a clear intention, which is a mental picture of your desired future, and an elevated emotion, which is the heart-based energy that fuels it into reality. Let's break this down. Your thoughts are the language of the brain. They are how you assign meaning, direct attention, and mentally project. But thoughts alone are not enough to create transformation. You can visualize your goals for hours, but if you are doing it while feeling anxious, doubtful, frustrated, or unworthy, you are sending a mixed signal. You are asking for one thing with your mind and broadcasting something else entirely from your body. The body is broadcasting the emotion of lack, and that incoherence keeps you stuck in the same loop. Emotion is the language of the body, and when that language is elevated, when you are feeling gratitude, joy, empowerment, compassion, you're no longer broadcasting from a place of survival. You're in creation, and when your thoughts and emotions are in alignment, when you have a clear mental image of your success and you are feeling the feelings as if it's already happening, you become electromagnetically aligned with your future. The elevated emotion becomes the carrier wave. It's the energy that pushes the intention, your mental image into the field. Think of it like this: intention is the blueprint, the architectural design of your new reality. Emotion is the energy, the raw building material that constructs it. Without the energy of the emotion, the design remains conceptual. And without the clarity of the intention, the emotion has no direction. When you feel an elevated emotion and pair it with a focused intention, you begin to biologically and energetically move out of the past and into a future. The brain begins to rewire. You're installing new circuits. The heart becomes coherent. Your electromagnetic field expands. You're no longer signaling the same genes, producing the same hormones, or perceiving the world through the same filters. You've shifted into a new state of being. Science now shows that the heart generates a magnetic field thousands of times more powerful than the brain. And when you cultivate elevated emotions, gratitude, love, appreciation, you are amplifying your signal into the field. You are telling the universe, this is who I am, this is my frequency, this is the future I am living now. Not in theory, not someday, but now. And the quantum field responds not to what we want, but to who we are being. This is why people struggle to manifest when they focus only on vision boards or affirmations without the emotional charge behind them. They're thinking about their goals from a state of separation. The body is still addicted to stress, worry, or doubt. In that state, you're not attracting a new future. You're reinforcing the present one. To transform, you must teach your body emotionally what the future feels like before it happens. You must enter the meditation, the visualization, the mental rehearsal, not as a checklist, but as an energetic experience. The more you practice that inner alignment, the more you become familiar with the state of your future self. And what becomes familiar is what becomes real. When you begin your day with a clear vision and an elevated emotion, you are no longer living from the old programs of your past. You are broadcasting a new frequency, signaling new potentials. You are conditioning your inner world to be greater than your outer circumstances. And in doing so, you become a magnet for experiences, opportunities, people, and synchronicities that match your new vibration. You aren't chasing success. You are drawing it to you through coherence between your heart and brain, between your intention and your emotion, between your future and your present identity. We live in two worlds simultaneously. The physical world you can touch, taste, see, and smell, and the invisible world of energy, frequency, and vibration. The Newtonian model taught us to believe only in what we can measure, that cause and effect is the only mechanism for change. But modern science, especially quantum physics, has revealed something deeper, something far more powerful. That at the foundation of reality is a field of infinite intelligence, a field of potential, a field we call the quantum field, and this field does not respond to what you want. It responds to who you're being. Who you are being is not just about the roles you play in the world. It's not about your job title, your achievements, or how others perceive you. Who you're being is a combination of your thoughts, your emotions, and your state of consciousness in each moment. It's the energetic signature you are broadcasting into the field with every heartbeat, every thought, and every feeling. That frequency is either signaling a future you desire, or reinforcing a reality you're trying to leave behind. Think of it this way: the quantum field is a mirror. It reflects not what you desire, but who you are in this moment. You can't fake frequency. You can't just say, "I want to be successful," while emotionally vibrating with fear, impatience, and self-doubt. The field is not responding to your words. It's responding to the coherence or incoherence between your thoughts and emotions. In that way, your inner world becomes the control panel for your external reality. Let's say you wake up every day feeling frustrated and limited. You look at your life through the lens of lack, what you don't have, what hasn't worked, how far you still have to go. That internal state becomes your energetic set point. Even if you visualize success for 10 minutes a day, the other 23 hours and 50 minutes are feeding a vibration of scarcity into the field. The quantum does not reward what you rehearse briefly. It reflects what you embody consistently. To unlock your success, you have to become energetically aligned with the version of you who already has it. Not later, not after the goal has been reached. You must become that version of yourself now, before there's any evidence in the physical world. This is where true creation happens, not from the known past or predictable future, but from the unknown present, where possibility lives. Your electromagnetic field, measured by the coherence between your brain and your heart, is a broadcast. When your thoughts are clear and your emotions are elevated, you are in harmony, you're in coherence. You're sending a strong, organized signal into the field, and that signal draws to you experiences, people, opportunities, and synchronicities that match that frequency. It's not magic, it's alignment, and yet most people are trying to change matter with matter. They try to hustle, grind, force, and push their way into success from a survival state, rushing to get somewhere while internally feeling lack, fear, or urgency. That's not creation, that's repetition. That's using the same level of consciousness that created the problem to try to solve it. It may lead to short-term wins, but it rarely leads to transformation. When you stop trying to force outcomes from the outside and start generating outcomes from within, when you master your energy, your thoughts, your emotional state, you enter a completely different dimension of change. You are no longer waiting for success to find you. You are embodying the version of you that success naturally gravitates toward. So who are you being when no one is watching? What thoughts do you entertain when you're alone? What emotions are you addicted to? And what energy are you rehearsing daily? Because that is what the field is reading. That is the signal you're sending out. If you want to change your life, you must begin by changing your energetic identity. You must begin to be that person before you can see the proof. The proof comes after the embodiment, not before. Gratitude is more than just a polite emotional response to getting what you want. It's more than saying thank you after something goes well. In the deeper architecture of transformation, gratitude is a powerful electromagnetic signature, a signal to the quantum field that you already believe your future has arrived. When you express gratitude ahead of the experience, you are not wishing, hoping, or begging. You are entering the state of receiving. To receive means to allow. It means to open. And it means to let go of the resistance, fear, and separation that block the very things you say you desire. When you're truly in a state of gratitude, you are no longer searching. You're no longer waiting. You're no longer operating from lack. You are declaring through every cell in your body that what you asked for has already occurred in the field of infinite potential, and you're just aligning yourself with it. The body, when feeling gratitude, is chemically experiencing a future reality in the present moment. The heart opens, the brain moves into coherence, the nervous system calms. In this state, you stop being a victim of circumstance and start becoming a participant in creation. Gratitude is a shortcut to surrender, not passive resignation, but active trust. You're saying, it's done. I trust. I know it. I feel it. The mistake most people make is reserving gratitude only for the rear-view mirror, for the things that have already happened. They give thanks only when there's external evidence to support it. But by doing so, they are reinforcing the illusion that they are separate from what they want, and that they need conditions to change before they can feel different inside. This is backwards. The field doesn't respond to your outer world. It responds to your inner environment. When you sit in meditation and begin to feel genuine gratitude for the life you are choosing to create, not the one you're reacting to, you are broadcasting a new frequency into the quantum field. That field contains all possibilities. It is waiting for you to emotionally and energetically select the version of reality you wish to step into. Gratitude, felt in advance, tells the field, I am already aligned. I've already made the shift. This emotion is so powerful because it's evidence of a state of being where the mind and body are no longer divided. You are no longer trying to become. You are being. You are no longer desiring from a place of absence. You are receiving from a place of alignment. The signal becomes stronger, more coherent, and more magnetic. And just like a tuning fork, you begin to vibrate in harmony with the experiences, people, and opportunities that match that emotion. This is why healing, abundance, new relationships, and creativity often unfold after people have practiced gratitude for some time, not because they've earned it, but because they've tuned into it. They've become a match for it. And the field, always mirroring back our dominant energetic state, responds with synchronicity and unexpected outcomes that appear as miracles, but are actually just reflections of coherence. Gratitude is also the emotion that rewires the subconscious mind. When you teach your body emotionally what your future feels like, you begin to override the old programs. You replace fear with trust, lack with fulfillment, stress with serenity. Each time you practice gratitude, authentically, not just intellectually, you condition your body into that future. Over time, it becomes your new baseline. You start expecting good things to happen, not out of naivety, but because your biology now reflects the energy of receiving. In elevated states of gratitude, the heart emits a measurable electromagnetic field that radiates beyond the body. You become an energetic beacon, calm, centered, empowered. You are no longer trying to get something outside of you to fill an internal gap. You are living from the fullness of already having it. The separation between you and your goal dissolves. not because the goal has arrived yet in physical form, but because you have emotionally and energetically met it in advance. That's where manifestation begins, not from striving, but from surrender, not from effort, but from alignment. And gratitude is the key that unlocks the door to that experience every time you choose to feel it in the now.